Hello, everyone. This is Simply Wani, and today I'm here to talk to you about ABC's brand new show, The Wonder Years, which is a remake of the 1989 show, The Wonder Years, starring Fred Savage. But this is a brand new show for 2021. Now, when we start off with this show, we see young Dean. He's riding his bike through his neighborhood, while Don Cheadle is narrating as older Dean, and he's riding his bike through his neighborhood. And Don Cheadle is talking about how in 1968 there was a flu pandemic that everybody thought was going to wipe out the entire nation, and there was also a race war that divided the black people and the white people. It was a new election, and it was dividing everyone. But young Dean is just 12 years old, enjoying his time. He's riding his bike through his neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood, but because it is the 60s, the late 60s, there's some segregation. So there's a white part of town and a black part of town. And Dean lives on the black part of town. So, but the black part of town is just as good as the white part of town. There are people working, enjoying the day. There's kids playing outside, girls jumping rope, men starting their business, women shopping and doing whatever they have to do. And then he's just enjoying being a 12-year-old riding his bike, free, carefree. And he rides home, and he pulls up and he sees his sister Kim inside her boyfriend's car making out with him. And he sees that, but he's not paying attention to that. He's paying attention to the song on the radio, because his father Bill, it's his father Bill's song. His father wrote that song and sold it, and it went on the radio. And he's like, that's Daddy's song. So he runs in the house, and his mother Lillian says, "Boy, you went in this house and you didn't say hi." He said, "I'm sorry, Mom, but I just heard Daddy say." She was like, "I don't care. When you come in the house, you say hi." And he was like, "But Daddy's song." He was like, "I don't care. When you come in the house, you always say hi. You speak. That's the proper thing to do." And she wasn't hearing none of his stuff. But then Kim comes in, and Kim tells her mama, "Mama, Daddy's song on the radio." And Lillian was like, "Boy, how come you tell me your Daddy's song on the radio? Turn it up." He's like, "But I was, turn it up." So he turns it up, and they hear the song, their father's song, the husband's song, and they jamming out to the music. And out of nowhere, the mom like, "Wait, you was outside making out with your boyfriend?" And Kim was like, but Dean was outside when he wasn't supposed to, because it's dark outside." They was just snitching on each other. But then the dad comes in and tells them all to be cool. And that's known as his big slogan, be cool. Anytime something happens, anytime there's an argument, if there's a fire with the food, or if they're being pulled over by the police, that's his slogan, be cool. So the family's listening to the music and just rocking out to the music. And that's how the first scene, the first introduction scene starts. Then we get to the next day. It's breakfast time, and Dean is being inspected by his mother. His mother, Lillian, she's a perfectionist, and she wants to make sure that he's looking okay for school. She doesn't want him looking out nasty or raggedy, making sure his face looks okay, making sure he's looking fine to be presented for school. And she also wants her daughter, Kim, to go to college. So she's telling her, "I hope you studied." And she hands her a book to study with. She said, "Yes, Mama, I always study." And it's best to be known that Lillian, she's a very smart woman, very intelligent, went to college, got a good job, and she wants her daughter and her son to go to college too. And the father, he's a music composer or a music teacher, and he makes his music. That's how he makes his living. He makes his music, and he teaches other people about music. And they both want their children to go to college. They really want Kim to go to college, but I don't think Kim wants to go to college, because while they were sitting at the breakfast table, one of her books fell, and a picture fell out, and Dane saw the picture, and it's her dressed up with some black on, holding a machine rifle. It was probably fake, but she looked like she was a junior Black Panther. I think that's what her group that she hangs out with are, the Junior Black Panthers. And she looks at Dean. Dean looks at her. He didn't tell. He just handed her picture. She slid it back, and they went about their ways. And the dad said, You gotta go to college, Kim. It's bad enough my son don't got rhythm. And Dean like, wait a minute. And the dad's like, yet. Don't got rhythm yet. So they're a cool family. They crack jokes on each other, but it's nothing harmful. They like each other. So after that, mom and dad, they having an argument about the coach, and the dad asking, how come the coach made you team mom? And the mom was like, I don't know, he just probably thought I was just an intelligent woman. And the dad like, nah, he's sweet on you. And then Dean cuts into their conversation and say, why would the coach be sweet on mama? And the mom and the dad said, stay out of grown folks' business, which they should have, because it wasn't his business. It was an A and B conversation, and it had nothing to do with him, and he needed to see his way out. So after that, he makes it to the bus, sits on the bus with his best friend Corey, and then two girls get on the bus. The first girl is Lisa, a really pretty girly girl, and one that Don Cheadle narrated that all the boys liked. But she sits down. That's not his crush. His crush was behind Lisa. Keisha. Keisha is his crush. She's tomboyish and she's also girlish. But today she was wearing her pigtails. She was wearing her school jacket. And she was being tomboyish today. And she handed Dean the Avengers comic book that he loaned her. And she said, thanks, Dean. And he said, thanks, you're welcome. And he sat down. She went to sit down in the back. And he got a crush on her. So it was a little bit later on the bus. And it looked like she was having some problems with a boy. Like, leave me alone. He said, maybe I could go help her. That's what the adult Don Cheadle narrated. But they turned around. She had a boy in a headlock. So he was messing with her, but she was holding her own, taking care of herself. And Corey was like, dang, she is tough. And Dean was like, yep, I can dig it. He liked that. He liked tough girls. So that's that. And they get to school, and they passed their old school. They had an old school, but the school they were at was shut down because of desegregation. I wasn't born then. I don't know anything about what went on in the 60s, but I read about it and I seen the videos, documentaries. Their school got shut down because of desegregation. And it was like they brought the white kids and the black kids together in the school. And so now they go to a brand new school. They go to the white school. And I think some of the people there still have a problem with it. They don't like integration. So Corey and Dean, they are at the water fountain, and Dean at the water fountain, and Corey takes a drink of water, and two white kids, a boy and a girl, sees that they were about to get some water, but because Corey used the water fountain, they don't want to use it anymore, but that's on them. But then their other friend walks up, Brad, and Brad uses the water fountain. He's a white Jewish boy. He has no problem with it. He's pretty cool with them. And he said, so have you talked to Keisha yet? And Dean said no. And Brad was like, you gotta talk to her soon. You don't want to look like no wet dream. And Corey was like, you sure don't want to look like no wet dream? And Dean was like, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm not gonna look like a wet dream. And Don Cheadle said, we did not know what that meant back then, but it sounded really cool. So they still didn't know what that meant because it had nothing to do with that at all. Some grown people don't even know what it meant for real. I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. So Brad said, you know, my dad, I'm on my dad's baseball team, and I know you're on the baseball team. So maybe the two teams can get together and maybe we'll have a integrated baseball game. And Dean was like, I don't know. Maybe we could do that. And so they go to the coach, and the coach says, heck, you want them white people to come and mess with us, and we didn't do nothing wrong. You got a better chance. And the coach tells him that they're not going to do that, and that Dean should focus more on striking a home run without crapping his pants and worrying about playing an integrated game. And adult Don Cheadle said, see, if coaches did that today, then they'd have to go to intensive to they would have to go to sensitivity camp, just like he had to do when he said that to his kids' team. And so Lillian gets to the ballpark to take the team's measurements for new uniforms. And Dean and Corey run up to her, and Dean says, "Ma, can you talk the coach into letting us play in an into an integrated game with the other kids from the other school, the other town?" And Lillian said she has her reservations and concerns just like the coach does. But then they start to think, it could be a good experience for them to learn how to play with people from other places. And Dean and Corey, I finally let the coach and Lillian finally let Dean and his team play, and they all happy and stuff. But then the coach says, "Now run a whole bunch of laps around the park." And Dean and Corey said, "Why?" And the coach was like, "Because y'all showed up here too early." So they ran around the park. So we cut to a new scene where Dean is in class, and Keisha is showing her new stockings that her mom bought her, and she's happy about that. But Dean just looking at her legs; he ain't looking at her stockings. And there's a bully in the back, and he tells Dean, "Hey, Four Eyes, can you look through the window and see my house? Tell me what's on TV." Everybody inside there get a good laugh, and somewhere down the line, they say your mama and your mama back to each other. And the teacher up front said, "What's going on back there?" And then this little girl snitch on them, and she like, "Somebody said your mama." And the teacher like, "You know what? None of the white students do that." So, and she looking directly at the kid in the back, the bully in the back. And it's crazy because Brad is like, she's not racist, but adult Don Cheadle narrating, he says he doesn't know if she was racist or not, because she also paid more attention to the students that she thought needed more help, but she didn't pay more attention to the students she didn't think needed more help. So I don't know if she was racist or not. I don't want to defend racism or anything like that, but we're gonna get to a different story. And he still gets beat up by the bully. And he gets home and he tells his dad about both teams playing in the integrated game. But the dad, just like the coach, has his reservations. He doesn't want any bad things happening to the black players and against the white players. And so he has his concerns too. But the mom says, "Let the boys play. Nothing's gonna happen there. Nothing's gonna happen bad." And he said, "But it's a bad idea." She said, "I think it's a good idea." And Dean tells him about all his problems and things, and they tell him to stay out of grown folks' business. But he's like, "No, I have problems. I'm at school, people pick on me, I have all these issues, and you guys are not doing anything." And the mom says, "Maybe we should let him play." And the dad finally says, "Okay, he can play, but I'm not gonna be involved in any of it." So they go about their way. And on the day of the game, they're all there. Everybody shows up. The black people show up, the white people show up just to watch this integrated game. And it looks like everything's going well. Dane's happy, and he sees the bully. And him and the bully, they recognize each other, and they kind of say, "What's up?" And the bully says, "What's up?" But then he realized that the bully wasn't there to check out the game. He was just there to steal Brad's bike. And he rolled off and left. And then Dean sees his daddy, and his daddy came there, and that was a big shocker to him. So they playing the game, and they suck. And I'm sorry, but they do. I guess they nervous, or they didn't play with kids that were kind of better than them, and it's not helping Dean anymore because the coach and his daddy telling him go left, go right, and he trying to listen to his daddy and listen to the Dean and listen to the coach and listen to his daddy, and he's like go left, go right. He missed the ball. The ball went to the Empire, and the coach and the daddy started talking, and he said, and they get to arguing, saying, let me tell my son what to do. And he's like, "I'm the coach. I'm supposed to guide them." He's like, "I'm his father. I'm supposed to guide him." And then the mama come out, and she start arguing with them too. And while this is all happening, two people, a man and a woman, white man and a woman, come up and says, I'm so sorry that I'm so sorry. I heard what happened. And they stop arguing and listening to the white people. Like, what happened? And the white man says, we heard about what happened to Dr. King. And they're like, what happened to Dr. King? He's been shot. And they like, oh my God, what happened? And the little lady says, he's been taken to the hospital. We don't know what's going to happen to him. And after that, everything stands still. Yes, this is that faithful day. Well, I guess it's unfaithful because it's the day that Dr. Martin Luther King was shot. So after that, everything stands still. We go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, the coach, Kim, the dad, I guess the coach's wife, everybody except the mama are inside the living room watching news to try to keep up with what's happening with Dr. Martin Luther King. And I believe this was real ABC footage. If it wasn't, can somebody please let me know? But the man comes on and says Dr. Martin Luther King has just been pronounced dead. And it's like a standstill. And outside of their house, you can hear a woman screaming. And the dad says, we better go check on Miss Early, comfort her. So him and the coach leave to comfort the old lady because Dr. Martin Luther King, his presence, his impact had his presence, his impact. He impacted a lot of people of that time. It still impacts a lot of people today. But back then, he was the man that started everything. I'm sure it was some people before him, but Martin Luther King, it was real devastating at that time. I can tell just by the acting alone. And Dean goes to his mom's bedroom. She's folding laundry, her back towards him, and he says, "Mom, Dr. Martin Luther King died." And she doesn't turn to him. She stays silent, but we can tell that it really affected her. And adult Don Cheadle said, "I don't know what was so important about that laundry at that time. It wasn't the laundry. She was sad. She was heartbroken that that man had died." And Dean can't make sense of it at all. So he gets out the house to get some air. I guess he wants to tell his friends, Corey and Keisha, about his feelings and see how they're feeling about MLK's murder, his death, I should say. Well, murder. He was murdered. And he gets to the park and he feeling sad and stuff. And these two people macking. They macking on each other, kissing on each other. And he's like, wait, this is my best friend. And this the girl he know I'm crushing on. And today is a sad day. And they over here kissing. So he's like, really? So he goes back home even sadder than before. Goes back home real depressed. And his mom opens the door for him. She sees he's sad and stuff. She thinks he's sad because of MLK. But he might have been sad because of MLK on top of the fact that Corey and Keisha was kissing. So he goes home trying to make heads and tails of everything. Doesn't know what's going to happen next. He's just really sad. And that's the end of the first episode of The Wonder Years. And I'm sorry if I was rambling or anything. But I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys understood what I was saying. And I will catch you again next time. I'm sorry this video is so late. But I will keep up with it again. And until next time, I will see you.